Morning, guys. Hope everyone's doing wonderfully well today. Kicking off another trading week. We got a lot of movements, commodities, big divergences. Silver, gold. Silver's ripping today. Jeez. What the hell happened to silver? Look at that silver pump. Damn. Back over that resistance. Nice little breakout. Silver's on the move today. Gold not performing as well, but perhaps gold is ready to break out of a bull flag here as well. Setting up quite nicely. You did have crude oil spike gap up this morning. It's getting rejected off of the 7-day moving average last night. It pierced it off of the gap up. Trump kind of sounding not too happy with Iran, but it is starting to come in from the highs just a little bit. Natural gas is looking pretty spicy. Nice little bull flag breakout here on the daily. Looks like it wants that gap fill. This could probably hit the gap fill pretty quickly, around 306 and change. The resource stocks are looking decent today. EQT's bouncing. RRC, let's look at XLE. XLE seeing a nice little bid as well. Morning. Your semiconductors are once again being led by Micron, big gap up. Intel obviously strong, and AMD. Just give me one sec, guys. My dog is going bananas right now. So far, every single mag is down in the pre-market. Nvidia, even though semis are strong this morning, Nvidia is seeing some weakness, a little bit of a gap down. Google also seeing a bit of a gap down. Apple down 0.43%. Microsoft just a dog, that's down 1.1%. Looking like it wants to roll over Microsoft. If Microsoft loses a 7-day here, guys, that's going to be a big fat short. Actually, Microsoft is under the 7-day, so as long as it stays under that 7-day, that's a big fat short down. IGV remains pretty weak, gapping down on the session. Amazon down 0.86%. Meta's down 0.73. Tesla did have that beautiful breakout yesterday, last week, taking a bit of a breather. XLY. Netflix looks like trash. Bitcoin looks weak. Nice little pop on INVZ this morning, guys. Remember that one. We do have some riskier call options going into June on those, so it should open up quite nicely. We got the $1 lottos. A little bit of a push here on, I guess, the LiDAR plays. Let's just see what the news is. No real news on INVZ, but there must be some sort of a loud LiDAR play that's making a move. Let's look at Ouster, not really doing too much. LIDR, not doing too much. Mobileye, not doing too much. Well, seems like it might be individual movement in INVZ. Again, I am long the $1 calls. It's up about 10%. Whether or not it holds, we'll see. The market is sort of looking a little bit vulnerable here. VIX is surging. Uranium's green this morning. Big gap down by IREN. That's nasty. Iron earnings coming out. Qualcomm's absolutely flying again. QCOM. Yeah, these semis, right? Continue to go. QCOM ripping. Memory, SNDK. Western Digital pushing again. Dell's taking a bit of a breather. Dell's been also one that's had a huge parabolic move. That one's taking a breather. Micron is ripping, of course. China stocks are taking a breather. BABA had a little bit of a bounce heading into that Trump meeting, but seeing quite a bit of sell side pressure this morning. Bank stocks are mixed. Quantum's under pressure. Copper continues to surge here, guys. Looking at copper futures. Take a look at that move. Man, that is a beast. That is a beast. Freeport McMoran looks squeezy this morning. Probably going to tap its 20-day. Copper stocks look like they're going to get a big buy program, guys. Probably going to get bid up all morning as long as that copper remains strong. It's looking hella strong. Moderna today, seeing a nice gap up, mRNA. People are saying Moderna is going to be the next squeeze stock here. Quite a bit of short interest. Nice daily chart pattern breaking out here. Lumentum's up, Intel's up, yeah. IQV getting smoked. Nope, it's actually bounced back up. Never mind. Mosaic. That continues to go down. Etsy under a bit of pressure. This morning, Marvell has taken a bit of a dump. It's been relentless, this stock as well. It's down about $7. Just bouncing slightly off its pre-market lows. A couple of the financials are under pressure, or transports are under pressure. Hmm. Yeah, ASTS, they have earnings after hours. So I think a lot of people are going to be piling into ASTS because Rocket Labs had a huge move to the upside. Um, so I'd just be careful playing earnings if you are. Obviously, understand it can go any other way. But I feel like a lot of people are going to be chasing ASTS, even though they're completely different companies, different businesses, totally different businesses. I think a lot of people are going to be piling into ASTS and SATS. They both have earnings. EcoStar. Oh no, EcoStar I guess was this morning. Okay, so not really that big of a move for EcoStar. Hmm. But chart pattern on the daily chart still looks solid, guys. SATS looks like it's got quite a bit of momentum with the space theme to push for new highs. But yeah, ASTS is definitely oversold, but I still had it going a little bit lower. A little bit lower, but you just never know with earnings. All right, 2 minutes here till the open, guys. Semis are obviously strong. SPY is showing quite a bit of weakness along with mega cap tech. Uh, a good day to see if semis give a bit of a blow off move. You got a lot of weakness in software, Bitcoin, crypto, individual semis that have been leading, like Nvidia are taking a bit of a breather. Marvell's taking a breather. Some of your memory stocks, Dell taking a bit of a breather, but obviously Intel, AMD, Micron are still beasts. It's open. Markets are open. Big push on Nvidia. Nvidia is trying to close its gap and go green. Actually, it is green. Intel AMD still remaining pretty firm here, guys. Sammys are still pumping and jumping. Markets are firming up. Microsoft and software still remain pretty weak. Big push on SPY. Microsoft's getting a nice buy program. AMD still remaining pretty strong. Nvidia getting faded off of its pre-market high levels. SOXX is still squeezing. Lifting the S&P higher. Marvell still remaining weak. Healthcare is catching a decent bounce. ServiceNow is having a good day despite software under pressure. ServiceNow has made a nice push. Oracle still remaining pretty weak. IGV still remaining pretty weak. S&P going for new highs. Still have all mags red except for Nvidia. Nvidia is slightly green. Google down 1.85, Apple down 0.86, Microsoft down 1.3, Amazon down 0.6, Meta down 1, Tesla down 1.3, Intel up 5.4, AMD up 2.4. Marvell struggling. Quantum's mixed. Western Digital surging. Micron surging. Jeez, Micron's a beast, man. Oh my, oh my. Just crazy extended from the 7-day moving average today. That is wild. IREN still getting smoked. Uranium doing well. UNH is having a good day. Rocket Labs building more momentum. Bitcoin's still struggling immensely here. Not a bad spot for a QQQ downside put, guys. SPY is about to go negative. Crude oil still up 3.73. Natural gas having a stellar day. Micron, a little bit of top wick distribution on MU. SOXX starting to see some downside. A little bit of profit taking as it had a pretty big push through its pre-market high level. It's weird. A lot of the mags are still showing weakness, guys. A ton of weakness. It's a good day for the market to potentially roll over. Circles down sharply. Nice day for Poet. DGXX still strong. Rocket Lab still surging. Palantir getting smoked today. PLTR under a lot of pressure. Starting to see Intel getting a pretty big sell program. Same thing with AMD coming in. A little bit of distribution hitting your semis here. We'll see if that money flees the market or if it rotates. Interesting, there's a lot of software names that are getting pummeled, but they're starting to climb back a little bit. CRM's now green, ServiceNow acting extremely well. Nice day for SoFi that's trying to push higher. AMD's almost red. AMD starting to come in, guys. Nvidia ripping though. So it seems that when Intel, Micron, AMD are selling, it's all flowing right back into Nvidia. Interesting. SPY still holding steady here. IGV trying to hold steady above some hourly chart support, but seeing a little bit more profit taking. The dollar's still remaining pretty weak. What else we got going? Rocket Labs is just squeezing. NVTS, that's up 17.4%. Beast mode. SPY still holding steady here. AMD still trying to come in slightly. Copper stocks are still ripping. Vin's just ripping, guys. That is pushing higher and higher. Still surging, another 10-minute candle high. Market S&P going for another new all-time high here on SPY. Trying to break out of its opening range levels. Looking very strong. Sheesh. Netflix just looks like trash right now. NFLX looks like it wants that gap fill down below. That's where I'd be a buyer again. Intel still remaining firm. AMD though seeing a little bit of distribution. Crude oil and the Dixie are starting to come in a little bit. Iron's trying to get a bounce. Bitcoin still remains pretty weak. Healthcare today, XLV doing quite well, guys. Healthcare seeing a nice bid here. UNH, big push higher. A little bit of profit taking off that opening candle, but UNH has got a crazy strong chart right now. J&J, that one's not as strong. It's taking a little bit of lag distribution, but it's been strong for a number of months. Let's look at CNC. Oof, look at that push on SPY. What a move. Intel, ServiceNow still pushing. IONQ making a big push. Pretty poor performance from GME. All right, Amazon now joining the MAG party. It's turning green. Still got weakness in Google, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Meta, but Nvidia and Amazon are green. AMD, that looks like it wants to go red, guys. AMD showing quite a bit of weakness here. That one looks like it wants to potentially roll over. S&P still looking solid. Nvidia full beast mode. IWM beastin'. QQQ still holding steady. Man, look at this Nvidia chart. Are they going to pump Nvidia up into its earnings? Nvidia does have earnings next Wednesday. Nvidia new highs, new all-time highs. Google just slightly lagging. A little bit more selling in your semis. VIX is still up 6% on the session. Got a Micron here. Micron's small pullback, but wow, crazy. Copper stocks are still surging, man. Freeport, SCCO. Wale, they are beasts. JP Morgan just turned green. I just sent out a couple new trade alerts just as an FYI in the option trading group. I have sent out a couple new alerts and the investing group. So just check that if you're a part of them. All right, AMD looks like it's going to roll over here. Nvidia is still looking like a monster. Beast mode. SOXX is seeing a little bit of distribution here intraday, but it's still strong, obviously. Crude oil, still seeing a little bit of a distribution. LITE, that's strong today. Transport stocks are down. Jets is getting smashed. IWM still holding steady. AMD guys rolling over here. We got some more sell side hitting individual semis. A little bit of selling. They're still friggin' strong through Nvidia, Broadcom. Broadcom though seeing a little bit of a profit taking candle. Not a bad spot to short SPY here. You can use this 10-minute candle as a stop loss. McDonald's has just been absolutely decimated down here. It's crazy how much sell side pressure that has been under lately. Coca-Cola still remains interesting. Industrials are getting a big bounce here. XLV. So there's definitely some rotation into other sectors happening here. Industrials and healthcare seeing a bit of a bid. IWM still super duper strong. AMD about to go negative. Intel still remaining pretty firm. Micron starting to come in a little bit, trying to lose its opening range. SOXX sitting right on its pre-market high. IGV seeing a little bit of selling as well. AMD, guys, is now negative. Nope, almost. Stand corrected. It's almost negative. SPY still holding quite well. Gosh, man. IONQ still beast mode. Corning, GLW, that's having a great day. Crypto's still under a lot of pressure. Costco's just looking like crap. Celsius getting smashed. Wow, Celsius? That's a volatile stock, man. Cell H, new 52-week lows? Yeah, new 52-week lows for Celsius. Lululemon, new 52-week lows? That's filthy. Nike, looking like a dog down here. Whew, man. Wow. Nice push up for Raytheon today. RTX is looking decent, guys. LMT, another one that's hitting a pretty big support level. AMD going negative. Topping tail forming on your semis. SOXX is still green, but coming in a little bit faster now with your indices. Here we go. AMD rolling over down 0.41%. Is anybody having issues with their options brokerage? Like my brokerage isn't reading my order totals correctly. I don't know why. That's very weird. Yeah, it's not reading my order totals correctly. Hmm. Nice rejection, guys. Starting to hit the market. Nvidia coming in a little bit sharper. IWM still holding steady here. So lots of rotation happening in the market. Semis are seeing a bit of profit taking, but that money isn't leaving the market. It's simply rotating. Man, this VCX ETF has just been a beast. Up 36% today. People are crowding back into the Anthropic trade. Sheesh. Crazy. Crazy. All right, come on, SOXX. Let's see what you're made of. Microsoft's still pretty heavy. Western Digital still strong as heck. Micron still 3.9. Nvidia up 1. ASTS having a solid rally ahead of its earnings. That's up 8.8%. Wow. Lithium stocks are doing quite well. Natural gas still ripping. Silver still ripping. It's interesting to see silver so strong with oil this strong and natural gas this strong. Silver, not a bad area to try to pick a short here at this 86 zone. It's high risk. It's been a squeezing asset. Semis are coming in harder. AMD starting to roll a little bit sharper. Intel's your next victim to go negative. IGV still trying to shake and move a little bit. AMD coming in quite a bit sharper now, guys. Semis are looking like they want to go negative. Intel still slightly green. Market's getting a little bit heavier here from semis. S&P still holding steady, but your QQQ has now taken a back seat. Qs are starting to get a bit heavier. All mags are negative except for your two, Nvidia and Amazon, but Nvidia is starting to roll over here just a little bit. But you can see there's definitely relative strength in your S&P today, but the question is how long can it hold relative strength if your Qs and mags are selling? And it's often very difficult for it to hold that strength. Crude oil trying to get a little bit of a push here. Looking at silver here, guys. You know, you know what the move in silver today is reminding me of? It's reminding me of what Bitcoin did last night. BTC did this weird price action where off of Trump comments on Iran, it dumped. And then all of a sudden it had this massive pump, liquidity grab, stops out shorts, blow out the shorts, and then it pushes right back down. That's what silver is kind of reminding me of. I don't know why silver's up so much, but I feel like that's a bit of a weird move. Hmm. We'll watch that one closely. All right, semis are still getting a bit of a bounce here with the market. A big fat fucking bounce there on the 10-minute chart. The dollar trying to get a little bit of an uptick. Weird move between gold and silver, guys. The ratio today between gold and silver is crazy. The spread, again, very weird. Very weird. Semis are SOXX still holding around 524, sandwiched between its pre-market high and pre-market low. AMD back to the green side. Uranium still super duper strong. UNH has rolled over. Wow, look at trade desk. TTD down another 8%. That thing's just fucking dog shit. Gosh, man, they hate that stock, eh? Nice hard rejection on silver, guys. AMD back to the green side. Intel still holding positive price. Western Digital still an absolute beast. Starting to bounce a little bit. Are getting 10-minute buy signals on crude oil, guys. We could see it push up a little bit here. Semis are still super duper strong. Robinhood trying to break out here. HOOD. Back above the 7-day moving average. Trying to get some buy side pressure. That's looking decent. Roblox still looks gnarly. BTC trying to hold its 7-day moving average as well. Big drop on silver coming. Dollars popping. Semis are still holding. Still's trying to catch a little bit of a bounce. Microsoft still trying to get through its opening range high. If Microsoft clears that 411.50 area, it could make a squeeze to the gap fill. That might correlate with a bit of a rotation trade out of semis, but right now your SOXX is still seeing some buy side pressure and strength. Nice drop on silver, guys. Your dollar's still trying to make a move. Gold looks like it wants to roll over to the dark side. SPY still holding some resiliency. Semis are still pushing. SOXX Silver getting clobbered here. Gold's getting clobbered. Hmm. Semis again. SOXX back above its pre-market high. IWM still acting phenomenally well. All indices are still green. Natural gas still squeezing. Sheesh. Market's so bullish, you got VIX surging, you got oil, nat gas surging, you got commodities surging, you got yields surging. All right, IWM seeing a little bit of selling off that 286 area. We'll see if it gets rejected. So there are some semis showing quite a bit of weakness, but these memory stocks are still just full bull beast. Dell showing quite a bit of weakness underneath its pre-market low, down 6%. We'll see if it starts to translate into these other names, guys. SNDK, Dell, Western Digital, kind of all very similar, but their chart patterns are diverging a little bit. Interesting. Micron seeing some more sell side pressure. Interesting to see the strength in some of these crypto stocks. MSTR still holding near the highs. Coin still holding near the highs. Mara, despite weakness in crypto. Very, very interesting. Hmm. Oh yeah, how's SBET? I think it has earnings today. Yeah, SBET is making a move today. Um, whoops. That is earnings after hours, I believe. IWM seeing pretty sharp projection off of 286. IWM is still your strongest indice. Qs are your weakest. SPY's leading Qs right now, which is showing that there is some distribution outside of tech. Oh yeah, how is XLK doing? Because that had a crazy, crazy move. Sheesh, man. These charts are ridiculous. SOXX still trying to flex its muscles. Sitting right on its pre-market high. IWM pushing right back up. IWM going for a new high of day. Still looking pretty squeezy for the Russell. Whole market's starting to squeeze higher. Sammys are squeezing as well. Big bounce on AMD, Nvidia, Micron pushing right back up. IWM had a huge push there on the intraday chart. Massive squeeze to the upside. So the existing home sales did come out a few minutes ago, coming in lighter than expectations. Consensus was 4.05 million, coming at 4.02 million. So a small miss on the existing home sales. Not too much more data for the rest of the day. Up until 1 o'clock, you get the 3-year note auction, which shouldn't be too. It shouldn't be that market moving. S&P new all-time high. Holy moly! What a move! The markets are just crazy strong. Crazy. Bitcoin still struggling. All your mags are red again except for Nvidia. Google still down 1.52, which is why you. Oh, thought I lost. Oh, did my thing disconnect? Did the stream disconnect? I don't know if it did or not. Successfully connected. S&P still squeezing. AMD, Intel, strong bounces across the board for your semis. Full beast mode still on SPY. Mm. Just took a QQQ 705 put for tomorrow. QQQ 705 put for tomorrow. I'd fill it $1.44. Nvidia is still trying to push for another high. AMD still acting a-okay. SPY still surging here. Silver getting rejected off its opening range low. Semis are seeing a little bit more selling. QQQ. So interestingly enough, guys, we look at the difference here. QQQ hasn't given us a new intraday high, but SPY has. Semi SOXX hasn't taken out that intraday high, but SPY has. IWM still holding majority of its gains, acting very well. Markets are still holding gains. Apple's trying to make a bit of a comeback here. Big V-shaped bounce. Google still flailing around, lagging. Microsoft, that's trying to make a comeback as well. Tesla's still looking pretty weak down here. Meta's trying to grind a little bit. Nvidia is still a beast. Nvidia looks like it's going. Intel, AMD still holding steady. Let's look at some of these other ones. Western Digital, that's starting to come in a little bit. SNDK, that's starting to come in a little bit. Micron, coming in a touch. ABGO, coming in a touch. Dell. Yeah, Dell's looking pretty weak still. Crude oil, the dollar is still trying to push up a little bit. Financials are still mixed today. JP Morgan flat to negative. Bank of America negative. Interesting. Russell still pushing. Bitcoin still strong. Natural gas up 4.22% and squeezing. How are these names? RRC. Wow, that got a pretty big fade, some of these nat gas equities. Let's look at AR. Yeah, AR as well. EQT. Huh. Big profit taking despite natural gas still remaining decently firm. Yeah, natural gas is still pushing here. Interesting. So a bit more selling hitting your Qs here, and your semis are kind of trading in lockstep here, showing a minor touch more weakness. SPY is still holding steady, pushing for new highs. Same thing with the Russell. The Russell's just full beast. Look at this Russell. Crazy. Wild. Qs are coming a little bit harder. SPY is still holding steady. You can see the divergence intraday. SPY is still at the highs while Qs are rolling on, but it's very difficult, guys, for SPY to hold these gains if Qs are coming in. Definitely seeing some money distributing out of these semis here. Again, we did take 705 QQQ puts for tomorrow. Keep in mind, tomorrow, guys, is CPI, and inflation is going to come in hot. Hot. I don't see how. If inflation doesn't come in hot, then we for sure. I mean, we know it's rigged, but you look at the backdrop, what's happened. Oil ripping. You've had copper rip. I mean, commodities across the board. DVC basket has been ripping. Wheat. How's wheat doing today? Yeah, wheat. Look at wheat making another push higher. So it's going to be tough for the markets to hold if inflation rips higher. Nice reversal starting to appear here. IWM still pushing, new high of day. Wow, there's a huge rotation, guys. Qs are coming down, IWM pushing. What a crazy difference in price action. SOXX starting to see a little bit more selling. AMD looking like it's going back to the negative side. Nvidia seeing some slight sell side pressure. Nice push down on QQQ. Again, we did short that lower high. So the reason I pulled that short, we were coming up into that OR high on Qs. We saw IWM and SPY making new intraday highs, but QQQ failed to give us a new intraday high. Crude oil making another push higher here, clearing 94 on WTI, up over 3% now. Nice sell program hitting your Qs. SPX crossing that 7,400 and what is that, 17-ish? Starting to come in now. Nice decline. Russell still holding steady, but it won't be able to hold for long. Losing prior day high on QQQ. We'll see if we get that 10-minute close below. More shorts will start to come in if you start to consolidate underneath that prior day high, which is 711.14 on your QQQ. Intel's almost negative. AMD just went slightly negative again there. So semis are seeing a little bit more sell side. Still have this Russell so strong. Look at it. Crazy, eh? SOXX is still seeing a little bit more distribution here. So money is simply rotating. IWM. Gotta watch that one because if that starts to come in. Yeah, all right. The IWM is starting to participate now on the downside, guys. Here we go. Qs are negative. SPY's next. Our QQQ puts that we entered are up nicely. Again, they're not zero, so we have a little bit more time to play around here with. AMD continuing to roll here. Looking pretty weak on AMD. Silver again rolling. Nvidia bigger sells. Let's get paid on these QQQ puts, guys. They are ripping. Ripping. Let's go. AMD puts are green. QQQ puts are green. A little bit of support here. Opening range low. Wouldn't be surprised to see a bounce back to prior day high, but it should get more sell side pressure. Nvidia 10-minute creating a bit of a bullish potential pennant flag. Bullish wedge. Nvidia is still looking strong. Micron still holding steady, although it's coming in a little bit. Amazon briefly made a bullish move to the positive side. Now it's getting smacked back down. Tesla's still drilling, guys. Tesla's been looking like crap all morning, giving us new lows. Apple made a pretty big valiant effort there trying to go green, but getting rejected. Still a pretty noticeable difference between QQQ and IWM today. IWM hasn't really seen too much sell side pressure, only buy side pressure. The question is, can it hold on though? SOXX sitting near its low of day, still positive, up 0.5% or so. But again, you've seen some of the leaders start to roll over. AMD has rolled over. Intel briefly went negative. Now it's starting to see more sell side pressure. So Intel's negative, AMD's rolling, SPY's starting to roll. Whew, hard sell there, guys. Our QQQ puts are spicy here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here we go. Let's see these markets go red. Deep sell. Crude oil spiking. Let's get it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Big sell programs. Our QQQ puts are up $1, but looking for more, guys. We got nothing but time on those. I like it. All right, so again, we're also holding SLV 75 puts, guys, which are nicely up. We pretty much picked the high on that chart. We'll see if that one wants to come in a little bit more. It's a little bit of a member trade that we issued. But look at the nice little pop here in crude. WTI getting a fat bounce. Still seeing these semis acting pretty resilient here. SPY bounced off of its pre-market high. Trump really does not want this market down. He wants this market to stay elevated. But his rhetoric can only keep it elevated for so long. Copper still surging, quantum having a good day. IGV down over 1%. You got more weakness. Intel back to the green side. Interesting. These semis are still unbelievably elevated. Big bounce on your S&P. Intel back to the green side. AMD still floundering. Micron, big stick back up. Big bounce off of pre-market high for SPY. SPY defending its pre-market level for the time being. Silver still looking pretty heavy here, curling slightly lower to the downside. Bit of an H pattern trying to play out on silver. IWM took a little bit of a sell there. Semis are still bouncing off the low of day. Just can't keep the semis down. This market's getting a big buy program. Big bounce across the tape. Bitcoin almost down 2%. Nvidia is still holding up 1.37. It's your only mag that is green. Tesla down 2.6, Meta down 1.25, Amazon down 0.25%, Microsoft down 1.3, Apple down 0.3. So Amazon and Apple look to be your strongest mags behind Nvidia. Absolute resiliency still being observed in the tape. IWM now showing a little bit of a lag in price, but trying to firm up right now. Market still looks a little bit vulnerable, guys. We have both the energies surging. We got copper still surging. QQQ at minimum today could head to the lower boundary channel. You can see we've bubbled up against the highs once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Wouldn't be surprised to see us backtest the 10-minute EMA. We haven't hit that in a while. Is Trump speaking right now? Maybe that's why. Uranium is surging today. That's up 3.1%. Wow. Holy, uranium just had a buy program since this morning. Fully ripping. Rocket Labs up another 11.8%. Holy moly, Rocket Labs is a beast. Sheesh. Yeah, the indices have stalled out here, but there's a lot of individual names that are ripping. Crazy. Looking at this INVZ, guys, it looks like it could join the squeeze party. Small, it's a very micro cap stock, just understand that. But when these mags sell, I don't know why my screen's freezing here. What the heck's going on? Why isn't it squeezing? I gotta reset this. Refresh. Refresh. I don't know why my chart is lagging. QQQ right back up. Semis are bouncing pretty sharply. But yeah, this INVZ starting to gain a bit of momentum. It's up 8% again at the intraday highs. Looking squeezy. Interesting. Market is still holding resiliency. AMD back to the green side. Intel just had a huge rip there again. INTC was negative, bouncing sharply. AMD seeing a fat candle bounce as well. Sheesh. Still trying to curl to the upside. IWM now lagging a little bit off of its highs. SOXX right back through pre-market highs. SPY ripping again. QQQ still trying to bounce sharply off of that knee-jerk reaction down. Market still showing resiliency here. Financials are green. That's trying to push up here. Wow. Western Digital still up 7% and moving. Unity Software getting smacked today, down 6.9. IREN still down 8.4. Snapchat down 4.4. GoDaddy down 1.7. Software, IGV still getting pummeled. Nastiness. Microsoft still down 1.1 and IGV is down about 1%. No one wants software. I continue to sell it. It's okay. Let it go cheaper. Let it go cheaper. How's Microsoft doing? Come on, Microsoft. Go back under 3 trillion. S&P strong bounce again. Yeah, Moderna. Super strong as well. How's Pfizer doing? NVIDIA trying to break out of a bullish flag pattern. Testing a breakout right now on NVDA. IGV still looking pretty weak here intraday. Hmm. QQQ still holding up A-OK. Coming into that pre-market high here for the Qs. If it gets rejected here, you could see a pretty big sell. But through your pre-market high, the bulls are going to start to try to bid it up again. Nvidia is just looking crazy strong. Testing 220 again, breaking out of that bull flag pattern. The US dollar is trying to get a little bit of a bid again, making a new low of day, trying to form a 10-minute bottoming tail from your new low of day, trying to recapture its opening range low, your DXY. Market is still heavily correlated with this Dixie. SPY's rips higher as the Dixie falls. A little bit of a bullish reversal here. Gold, silver, seeing a little bit more selling. Crude oil still looking pretty strong. IWM starting to lose a little bit of momentum here. It's curling down slightly. Bitcoin still remains down 1,400 bucks, 1.76. WTI still up 3.22. Natural gas up 4.3. Nvidia is just eating up all the other mags. Semis are still holding resiliency. Financials are weak. Let's look at the sector performance here of the market. So you got staples that are drilling down over 1% on XLP. Communications are weak, down 0.75. Financials are flat to negative. Consumer discretionary drilling and retails drilling. You got strength in healthcare today up 0.64. Utilities are 0.54. Real estate up 0.53. XLK up another 1%. Your most parabolic sector on the daily chart. XLE having a great day. That's up 1.8%. And materials XLB up 1%. Crude oil still pushing. Copper still up 2.5%. Sheesh, copper. That's crazy high prices for the economy. So not only do we have our most used commodity in the world, oil, that's reflecting high prices. We also have copper, the most used base metal. So the two most used commodities in the world are ripping. The economy is going to get smashed. Let me translate. NVTS Fully bully. NVTS is still beast mode. Crazy, up 26%. Poet, nice bounce off of Poet. That's up 18% today. DGXX still ripping. RDW's daily chart is setting up for a potential squeeze. I might take a position on RDW later today. Equity's pretty cheap. Haven't really looked at the chain, but nice little daily chart gap fill. It's looking like it could have a 3-bar surge gap up on RDW and at least target this 1450 pivot. Interesting chart there for RDW. You can see it's a nice little daily chart breakout. It's looking spicy. Semis are still flexing their muscles. All right, so the IWM taking a little bit of a breather here. Intraday, back testing some support levels. QQQ still grinding. Let's look at SPY here. SPY still grinding higher. Looks like SPY's going to do another sweep. We'll see. Yep, IONQ is still squeezing. Nvidia just made a nice spike there, pushing for another new high. Intel starting to lose a little bit of momentum, curling underneath its opening range low. AMD still holding above its opening range. QQQ still squeezing. Nvidia, whew, look at Nvidia. What a beast. New all-time high. So Nvidia single-handedly starting to lift the market. So it seems like Nvidia is eating all of software's lunch again. Software IGV sitting right on a critical spot here. Opening range low, and just so happens to be this this little pivot low, this bullish reversal zone for software. If it loses this one, software is going to melt even more. For now, it's holding. So if IGV bounces here, it could give the Qs and the S&P a nice intraday push. But if it loses this area, it's going to flush pretty hard. Nvidia, though, just crazy beast. Beast mode. What are we trading at for Nvidia now? It's just a casual, cool 5.39 trillion market cap and squeezing. Crude oil still trying to make a push here. Apple's trying to go green. It's still negative slightly, but trying. IGV starting to melt through the 90 area. Look at NVIDIA go. XC are still trying here to push. IGV still struggling. IWM flagging. Intel seeing a bit more sell side. Marvell has made, what a bullish recovery on Marvell. From a low of 162 and change to pushing well above 170, beast mode. AVGO's made a nice bullish recovery. ASML still lagging a little bit. Taiwan Semi lagging just a touch. Western Digital still holding. SNDK slightly red. Dixie and crude guys are still making a big push here. The markets should get some sell side pressure. The US dollar making a big push here intraday. Watch gold, probably going to roll over to the negative side. Silver's probably going to see quite a bit more sell side pressure as well. That is a bullish reversal in the US dollar forming. Intel reacting negatively. NVIDIA is still holding steady. NVIDIA is still fully beast mode, trading into new all-time high territory. AMD, Intel seeing more sell side pressure, but NVIDIA is eating everyone's lunch right now. D appears like it wants to go back to the negative side again. It's still hanging in there, A-OK. SOXX is grinding, QQQ grinding, Nvidia is still holding bullish price action. Market still showing bullish price action, not fazed by crude oil or natural gas. Yields are still pushing higher here intraday. 10-year yield just gave us a new high of day. 2-year yield still pushing as well. Natural gas is almost into that gap fill. Interesting. US dollar still appears to be trying to push higher, trying to carve out a little bit of an intraday base. AMD still holding its opening range low. Intel bouncing sharply off its pre-market low. Nvidia taking a little bit of a breather here, still consolidating quite well. IGV, guys, is starting to break down. Software losing structure here again, breaking through its OR low and this bullish reversal pivot. Software needs to do something drastic here or else it's going to go to the basement. No one wants IGV. It's looking nasty. Looking real nasty. Nokia breaking out to the high side. Crazy. Hmm. Small distribution hitting AMD. AMD backtesting its opening range low again. Crude oil still looking bullish, trying to push up here. SPY's green. QQQ still lagging despite Nvidia surging. All mags are still red except for Nvidia. Tesla, those had a nice bounce intraday, still down 1%. Meta's lagging all day. Amazon still down a quarter. Microsoft looking pretty weak still. Financial stocks are continuing to sell off here, guys. XLF looking pretty weak again. JP Morgan was briefly looking a-okay, but starting to look for new lows. Bank of America falling. Let's look at regionals. Yeah, look at regional banks today. They are getting trashed. Wow, it's amazing to see the Russell still strong when KRE has just been getting pummeled here. Potential head and shoulders starting to brew on KRE. Where's the strength in regional banks coming from? Biotech's up 2%, so that's holding this Russell steady. But yeah, whenever KRE is weak, usually the Russell can't stay up for that long, and KRE is falling sharply here at the lows of the session. Nastiness. Let's look at Netflix here. Netflix just looks like trash again. Back down. Oracle still struggling. Palantir still struggling. That's down 2%. Let's look at TTD. That's struggling. GoDaddy. Struggling. Duolingo. Still struggling. AppLovin. That Monday got smoked. Alright, big push in the Qs. Nvidia pushing still. Right back up for your semis. Silver still trying to make a push higher through that pre-market high. IGV still melting lower. Microsoft still falling. IWM holding steady. Up 0.75% on IWM, still ripping. SOXX is still up 1.7%. This Unity software. This Unity software has been pummeled. Nastiness. TXN. Texas Instruments still managing to grind higher after that earnings gap up. That was AMAT. AMAT is still ripping. Wow. Software still draining. Wow, LITE has had a huge move. Lumentum. LITE. Up over $1,000. Is that the first time in history? No, second time. But new all-time high for Lumentum. Alright, pretty sharp sell side pressure hitting the tape right now. We'll see what it translates to. Qs are starting to test that pre-market high again. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta take the dog out. He's looking at me like he needs to do his business. Oh, there he is. Barking. Holy, what happened to Tesla? Is there news on Tesla, guys? What's the news on Tessie? Whoa. Tesla just had that massive move. It's probably going to lift Amazon XLY sector, but wow. Tessie had a big move there intraday. Interesting. Tesla just ripped higher. Sheesh. Yeah, Tesla looks like it's going to go for this 436 pivot. Wow, that was a fat move on Tessie, guys. That was crazy. Not sure what happened there. Nvidia is still pumping over 221. Sheesh. Think crude oil in the Dixie softening up a little bit here. Semi still remains super bullish. Qs are sitting right around its pre-market high. IGV still struggling a little bit. The IWM flagging sideways on your 5 and 15. Looks like it's trying to push a bit higher here. Crypto's had a nice little bounce intraday. Nvidia is still consolidating, digesting this big move up. Tesla made that bullish recovery. Don't expect it to go much higher after that intraday push. Needs to consolidate a little bit to digest this recent move. A lot of people are going to be taking profits, but what a crazy push there on Tessie. IGV still struggling immensely here. Looks like it's going lower, cracking that opening range low, showing quite a bit of weakness despite the market staying firm. AMD still pushing, Intel still pushing. Financials are still being drained here. Wow. Bitcoin getting a nice pop, guys, intraday. BTC showing its strength now. Thank you, Polly. So the headline on Tesla there, Polly just found it. Elon must have joined Trump on visit to China. Interesting. I see. Thank you for that. Look at Tessie going. Holy moly, eating everyone's lunch. I know. Views are still squeezing. Everything moving. Natural gas is still squeezing here. Might have to pick up some of these equities, guys. Natural gas is a full beast today, up 5.43% and squeezing hard, guys, into that big daily chart gap fill. Next stop 316. Once it digests some of this move. Wow. Take a little bit of a lunch break. We are still seeing the markets acting pretty well. QQQ above its pre-market levels. Nvidia consolidating into that all-time high territory. Dollar and crude. Crude oil still looks pretty strong, like it wants to go higher intraday. Nat gas and energy are still ripping. It's pretty amazing to see these markets showing strength today, despite both energy baskets, the oil and nat gas, are surging today. And then you also have copper ripping, so pretty extraordinary for sure. Markets are still in that melt up environment. You have had a couple other mags turn green. Apple's now green, joining Nvidia. And you got Tesla obviously making a really bullish move. Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Google still struggling, but Amazon's trying to gain a little bit of liquidity, probably just simply because Tesla's had a huge push, pushing up the XLY basket, which Amazon is in. BTC has made a nice bounce off of the lows. Still a ton of resistance up out here on BTC. It's very close to the daily 200 moving average. We'll see if that wants to hold steady. Intel seeing a little bit more sell side pressure. Guys, we have oil spiking again. Crude oil is starting to move yet again. New intraday highs up 4%. It's going to be tough for these markets to stay this elevated. You also have your dollar. I don't know how the markets are holding this resilient, but oil is starting to push hard again.